Human relations, focusing on perception. So be able to explain the influencers of perception, what influences our perception, and our perception impacts our ability to relate to others, to make decisions, and to understand where they come from. And of course, we will also define what perception is. So this screen shows a picture of an elephant, and it's an optical illusion because the way it is drawn, it is very hard to determine the number of legs of this elephant. So the question is, how many legs does this elephant have? What we are going into now is a section on perception, which addresses many ways that we perceive things and how these perceptions impact our ability to relate to others. Perception is the recognition and interpretation of sensory stimuli based upon our memory. So we can say that our perception is the way that we interpret data, all the stuff that occurs around us. So the way we interpret data, meaning the world around us. And our perception is unique to us. So the way I perceive this moment is different from how you perceive this moment. And if we are supposed to agree on it, we might disagree and we might have miscommunication as a result and potentially conflict. And that is really the challenge with our differing perceptions here. A lot of things influence us, how we perceive. We have many influencers of perception, such as heredity, our height, the way our bodies work, where we grew up, our needs. Are you hungry right now? Are you tired? They will drive what you focus on. Our friends around us, and we've talked about that actually in class. If our friends start doing one thing, do we do that or do we not? It depends on how we perceive them and us in the situation. The interests we have, our expectations, all of these things drive how we see the world, how we perceive the world, how we interpret what we see. As I already mentioned, there are challenges with perception. So the challenge is really that we may not always understand someone else's perception and how they see their world. Or we might also think that the way we see it is correct, which is clearly not correct to say, because we all have different perceptions of the same situation. So this is really where we can see disagreements and a lot of communication issues. They stem from how we perceive the world. For instance, you might actually see a coworker of yours coming in late in the morning. You're supposed to be there at 8, this person comes in at 8:15 every day. They must be so lazy. Can't they just get up when the alarm rings? But we don't know. Maybe they have a child with medical needs and that child starts school later in the morning. Maybe they have a different schedule agreed upon with our supervisor. We just don't know. So we really need to pause our perceptions and need to handle and be aware of our perceptions, especially when we do not have all of the facts, which is most of the time. There are two specific effects that we can talk about here. One is called halo, and the other one is called either the reverse halo or the horn effect. And this happens when there is one trait in a person that you very much like, or you dislike very much, like the example I just gave with this person being late. Oh my goodness, this person is always late. This person must be a terrible, lazy person that is incompetent, that doesn't know how to do anything right? So the halo and the horn effects mean we pick one trait and then we generalize from it. So the halo effect, we generalize in the positive, and with the horn effect, we generalize in the negative. So we think they are all of them is a desirable person or undesirable. So in summary, perception refers to how we interpret stimuli, such as people, things, or events. Our perception is important to recognize because it is the driving force behind our reaction to things. When we perceive the world in a certain way, we think about it, we make decisions, and our behavior come from that. Heredity, needs, peer groups, interests, and expectations all influence our perception. A halo effect or a reverse halo effect can also influence how we see the world. With that, have a good one, be safe, and I'll see you next time.